Hey everybody, I'm here with a quick video on Diddy. Diddy has added a new lead lawyer to his team. Now listen, are they running scared or is this strategy? Now listen, he didn't just add any lawyer, he added a top lawyer, to his team. We're only a few weeks before his trial starts. Now listen, I don't know when they're going to start selecting the jury, and I'm going to say this. Good luck to finding a jury that hasn't heard about this story, already has an opinion about whether Diddy is guilty or innocent. But listen, there have been other cases where it was all over the news, and still it seems as if those particular defendants still got a fair trial. Let me go ahead and share a screen so we could get more into this story about Diddy and the lawyer that he just added, okay? So Diddy's defense team Shaker will put star lawyer Mark Geragos in leading role after he repped Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden, he was found guilty though, but he got a pardon from his daddy. I ain't mad. Michael Jackson did get off. Chris Brown, the case that Mark, represented Chris Brown on, he did get off. But Chris Brown seems to unfortunately stay in some type of trouble. So, he's in trouble again. I think I'd say a former employee of his is suing, saying his dogs pretty much mowed her down. So let's get into this Diddy story and him adding a lawyer. But first, we'll take a listen to this. Hold on one second.
5-year-old Diddy, aka Sean John Combs, Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, is a classic Shakespearean tragedy, showbiz style. It began to go very wrong last March when the feds raided his homes in LA and Miami. In May, horrifying footage of Diddy brutally attacking his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel hallway in 2016 was leaked and went viral. He quickly apologized, settled with Ventura, but his problems were just starting.
The world-famous Sean Diddy Combs is expected to be arraigned on federal charges this morning.
Diddy is being charged with racketeering and sex trafficking.
Now the three-time Grammy-winning rapper, record producer, record executive, and fashion designer, once the toast of New York and LA, not to mention the Hamptons and Saint-Tropez, is cooling his heels at the notorious Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He's been there since his September arrest on racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges. Now he's given up on getting out on bail and will be in jail until his trial in May 2025. Even Jay-Z's gotten dragged into the mess. He was recently accused of raping a minor along with Diddy at an MTV VMAs after party in 2000. Now, Jay-Z hasn't been charged with anything and is fighting back very aggressively. Diddy, too, insists he's not guilty of all the charges against him. He also says he's innocent of all the claims against him in dozens of civil lawsuits filed in recent months by both women and men. Now, they claim in many cases that he drugged, groped, and raped them. Diddy's accused of orchestrating creepy sex parties known as freak-offs in the early 2000s. These ragers were said to be elaborate, high-profile affairs, which the feds say were really day-long sex orgies. But the freak-offs, the white parties, they're all a thing of the past now. Instead of waking up in one of his luxurious mansions, Diddy wakes up to cinder block walls. The jail has housed everyone from R. Kelly to Sam Bankman-Fried. President Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent time there as well and called it, quote, disgusting with, quote, horrifying conditions. Either way, it's a long way from Diddy's life as a rap icon, but there are those who believe that how it begins is often how it ends. I was a cub reporter on the night shift 33 years ago this month when we heard there'd been a riot at a City College of New York charity basketball game organized by a then unknown Puffy that ended in a deadly stampede. 9 people died. The tragedy might have stopped some careers in their tracks, but not Diddy's. Despite decades of scandals, which included a nightclub shooting in 1999 involving Diddy, his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, and rapper Jamal Shine Barrow, Diddy kept growing in wealth, power, and influence. Diddy's father, Melvin Earl Combs, was a small-time drug dealer shot dead in his car when Diddy was just 3 years old. Diddy has so far avoided that fate, but his professional life has taken what seems to be a fatal hit. At least his kids, he's got 7 by several different women, are sticking by him, along with his mother, Janice Combs. He's got some of the best lawyers money can buy, but it may not be enough to save him this time.
So adding a new lawyer, listen, here's the thing. Whether you spend all your money on your legal defense or not, right? You might as well spend it on your legal defense, because if you don't get out either way, what are you going to do with the money, right? So he has several lawyers. Now adding this Mark here, we're going to see how things go for Diddy. Like I said, in just a couple weeks, there are more changes coming to Diddy's legal team. Page 6 heard. Here's sources say star attorney Mark Geragos is poised to take a lead role in the disgraced Mobile's defense team. Geragos, whose clients have included Hunter Biden, the Menendez brothers, Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, and Roger Clinton, among others, is already an advisor in the case, and his daughter, what is her name, Tinny Geragos, is part of the team. Listen, I guess, keep the money in the family. I'm guessing on average per day, Diddy is probably spending $100,000 per day for all of these lawyers, and I'm probably underestimating the number, for his legal team. But insiders tells us the team is preparing to file paperwork that would allow Mark to appear in court on behalf of the bad boy. On behalf of the bad boy. I don't know, Big. The people that write these articles sometimes, it's like, do they do spell check? Does somebody double check them? The I'll Be Missing You rapper has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in P. His blockbuster trial is set to begin on May 5th. That is like soon. His defense is being led by Mark, another Mark, right? One of the 6 lawyers on the team, Anthony Rico, quit the case in March, reportedly after discussions with Mark, the Mark that is currently running things. I think Anthony Rico and Mark were not blending well together. And the last thing you need when you're on, trial to save your life is your lawyers not agreeing and just fighting. So it was, smart of Anthony Rico to just say, you know what, I'm out. But I would love, perhaps either after this case, or maybe he never will be able to speak because of client attorney privileges. I would love to hear the exact reason as to why he removed himself from the case. In a motion to remove himself from the team, Rico wrote, although I have provided Diddy with a high level of legal representation expected by the court, under no circumstances, he said 0, can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs. He didn't explain the reasons any further, citing attorney-client privilege in the filing. It's unclear if Geragos is intended as a replacement for Rico, or if he'll fill another role in the panel. Early signs suggest that the team will argue that the videos of the rapper's famous so-called freak-off parties show that, as they said in response to his indictment, there's no evidence that anyone involved is incapacitated or under the influence of drugs or excessive alcohol consumption, and that there is certainly no evidence of sex trafficking. It also seems they may use a racial defense, and a court filing Diddy's team argued that no white person has ever been the target of a remotely similar prosecution. Ref. Geragos declined to comment. Now, I will say this. They are correct. There are other individuals, celebrities, politicians, and everything in between that actually hired and utilized, sex workers for their pleasure. And I'm not saying that, because Diddy, this is a little high level. They're saying that Diddy, supplied them with alcohol and other things to make them do what he wanted them to do. And I don't know if these other individuals was accused of that also, or just accused of hiring sex workers for their pleasure. Either way, Diddy his back is up against a wall, literally. And I don't know if, this group of lawyers is going to be able to get him out of this. But, time will tell, because May is literally right around the corner. You could peek out your window and you see May just sitting there waiting to say hello. So it's going to be interesting. Don't know how long this trial is going to last in terms of weeks, but I tell you this is going to be the most polarizing weeks of our life, okay, as this trial is taking place. And, good luck to Diddy. My heart goes out to anybody out there that has been a victim of SA or anything else like that. As I'm studying this case and reading on it, right? the thing is, unless you are a direct person, in that circle and you was there, we're really just picking sides based upon the information that we hear. And I'm not saying this goes for every last person that is suing him, but there are some individuals that I'm finding out, they were complicit and they were willing to do whatever it is they had to do at the time. And then in hindsight, maybe they're like, wow, either I shouldn't have did that, or they feel he pushed me to do that or whatever, because there's some, and I'm not talking about any of the ladies in this case, I'm talking about some males. And if you've been following the case, you probably know who I'm talking about, that are saying that, Diddy did this and Diddy did that. I'm finding that some of those males were allegedly actually in a relationship with Diddy. So this thing is messy on all levels, right? But anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts about him adding another lawyer to the legal team pretty much at the 11th hour, right? So to speak, because his trial is happening in a few weeks. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like button. I'll see you on the next video.